Hey grandkids, it is time to do another video. It's been a long time since I've done a video, and I've wanted to do it for a while, and I think I know what I want to talk about, and it's the perfect time to do it. So here we go. It is July, near the end of July, and it is hot here. And I just got back from taking a trip to Washington State, where Landon and Marissa are in the middle of doing their swimming lessons, and I've taken this trip now for 2 summers, and this time I took Phoenix with me instead of going by myself. Grandpa flew in after we'd been up there for about 5 days, and then he spent about 5 days up there with us, and then we drove home. We dropped Phoenix off in Utah and then came home, and we've been home for probably a week and a little bit more now. But it is hot here, and it was really nice to get away to Washington. And that's kind of why I go up to Utah and visit my grandkids there. We also, when we got back from, Grandpa and I, when we got back from our trip to Washington, we picked up Michaela and Forrest and Oslo and brought them back here, and they just left yesterday to go back to Utah before they fly to New York City and back home. So we've had a pretty busy summer, Grandpa and I. It's been really good for me because I like to get away and get out of the heat, and it's been good. And I will be getting ready to go again to watch Lexi's kids pretty soon. And actually, I'll bring them back here so they have some fun things to do while Lexi gets to go on a vacation, which she deserves. So, okay, so I get to teach the 3-year-olds, the little sunbeams, in primary every Sunday. And this lesson that we just had this last Sunday was about how Heavenly Father loves all of his children, and not just the ones who choose the right and make good choices, but even those who do not choose the right and make really bad choices, even those who make really bad choices. So he loves all of his children, and that means old people, young people, big people, little people. When we say the word children, sometimes we think of little people or kids, but in this case, it means all of his children, which mean all of us. We're all his children. Whether we're old or young or grandparents or babies, doesn't matter. We're all his children. We just live on the earth at different times, and we grow up and we get old, but we're still his children. So Heavenly Father loves all his children, and it was so fun to teach the little primary kids this on Sunday, and that's what I want to talk about today, is how Heavenly Father loves all of his children. And not just loves all of them, but loves them as they are. Loves them where they're at in their life. Loves them even if they don't make the right choices. Loves them even if they look differently than we do. He doesn't love all the ones that, look normal or that have certain colored skin. He loves them all. He loves all his children, no matter what the color of their skin is, no matter what choices they make. Doesn't matter if they are mean to people. Doesn't matter. He loves them all. And so he wants us to love everyone the way he does, because everybody deserves to be loved, even those people that are, maybe bullies, and actually, I think bullies really need love. Maybe that's why they bully, because they don't get love at home. We've talked about that before. Okay, so I want to show you some things that I showed my little sunbeams to help them understand that Heavenly Father loves all of his children, no matter what they look like, what color skin they have, maybe even if they don't do things the way that we do. Okay, so I'm going to flip you around. I'm going to show you a couple things. Oh my goodness, well, there's my TV. I don't want to show you my TV. Okay, so I showed my little kids, and you've seen these at my house before because they're in the grandkids' room. And most of you know what this is. This is a wheelchair. This one happens to be an automatic wheelchair because you can see the girl right here using her hand on the controls, kind of like what great grandma used to use when she was in her scooter. She could make her scooter go all by herself too. It's kind of nice. Back in the day, a long time ago, they didn't have motorized scooters or wheelchairs. people had to scoot them around, or they had to wheel themselves around, and that would be kind of hard. So this little girl, I would think that this little girl's legs don't work, because if they did, she'd be walking, but she needs to be in a wheelchair. And so she's a little bit different. I think all of our legs work. There was a time when Eden's legs didn't work, and she had to be in a wheelchair. But Eden got better, and we knew she'd get better, and we were grateful that she got better. But some people have to be in a wheelchair all their life, even when they're older, and their legs never work. And so, but Heavenly Father loves people like this too, even though they look a little different. Okay, let me show you another one. Here's this man, and he is using what is called crutches. Yeah. And I would think that his legs don't work. They probably work a little bit because he can stand up and he can walk, but he has to use these crutches to help him walk. So at least his legs work a little bit, but not well enough like yours and mine. So, sometimes these things look a little different that they have to use, these crutches. But, they're just like anybody else. They just have to use crutches. So Heavenly Father loves them too. Okay, here's one. I love this one. This is a lady, and I don't know if you can see in her eyes. Her eyes look kind of, I don't know, maybe kind of normal. But she has this cane, and this cane is red and white. And a red and white cane always means that someone can't see. This lady is blind. It's called blind. Her eyes don't work. And so she uses this cane, and what she does is she holds it out in front of her kind of like this and moves it back and forth like this. When she's walking, her legs work, her eyes just don't work. So she moves this cane back and forth while she's walking, and she uses the cane to see if there's anything in front of her, like a table or a step. Maybe she has to step up. And I'll tell you what, these people that use canes like this when they're blind, they're really good at it. They have to be good at it. And so they practice and they learn to be really good at finding things not to trip over. And so they use this cane, and it's always a red and white one, and that tells people that they are blind. And then there's a lot of people out there, when they see a cane like this with the person that's using it, they'll go up and they'll maybe ask or kind of help them, or maybe, watch them and make sure that they don't, run into anything. But most people that use a cane like this are pretty good at it. And they're really good. You'd never even know that they're blind, because they're so good at using their cane. And the cane is the only thing that you know. That's the only indication you get that they're blind. Okay, now this man, maybe it's kind of hard to see what's wrong with him. He looks really happy. Well, that's probably because most people that have things that don't work on them are still happy. We can be happy no matter what. Did you know that Lexi is blind? Her eyes don't work. She doesn't use a cane because she's pretty good at, getting around. And her eyes work a little bit. Maybe this lady's eyes don't work at all. Boy, that's like putting your hands over your eyes and just seeing nothing but black. That would be really scary to walk around the house or walk across the street. Oh my goodness, I don't think I'd want to do that. But these people are good at it. But Lexi is blind, but she doesn't have to use a cane because her eyes work a little bit. Not very well, but a little bit. But even crossing the street for Lexi is kind of scary. So, but she looks pretty normal, doesn't she? No, there's a lot of people that don't even know that Lexi's legally blind, because she just does what she needs to do, gets where she needs to go. Okay, so this man, look at his legs. He's got braces. These are called braces. And maybe he walks pretty well too, but sometimes people with braces don't walk very normally. They kind of walk kind of funny, and they bend their legs kind of funny, or they have to keep them straight, when they wear these, and they don't walk normally, but that's okay. They just do things differently. Doesn't mean they're wrong, just means it's different. Different is okay. Different is good. Okay, here's another lady. This one's a grandma. She's older than me, I hope I don't ever have to use one of these, but this grandma does. And Great-Grandma Packard actually had to use one of these before she had to finally get into a wheelchair. This is a lady whose legs kind of work, but she needs the help, and so she uses a walker. This is called a walker, and she just pushes it around and kind of hangs on to it and then walks. You've seen, maybe some of you older kids remember Great-Grandma using this. That was a long time ago, because Grandma's been gone for almost 4 years, so maybe you were too little to remember this. Maybe you just remember her being in a wheelchair. So this lady, you know, her legs kind of work, but she has to use a walker. But that's okay. She's making it work. I love this one. This one's the last one, and this one's really cute. This is our little boy who you can see on his ear. Do you see on his ear? He's got a hearing aid. It's called a hearing aid. His legs work. Perfect. Looks like his legs work. He doesn't have any braces on, but look, he is wearing a hearing aid, which means his ears don't work. He's doing sign language. That's the sign for I. And look, he's practicing his sign language because there's the letter I. He looks normal. He looks like any other kid. It's just that his ears don't work. So maybe he will talk a little bit different than most people do. Sometimes they talk differently and they don't sound the same as we do, but Heavenly Father loves those that are deaf too. And that's what it's called when your ears don't work, is deaf. Okay, so we talked about that, and I talked to my little 3-year-olds about how Heavenly Father loves even these kind of people, even though they do things differently. Different is good. Different is okay. Sometimes different can be scary, especially for little kids and younger ones, or maybe for those of us who haven't seen. There's people out in the world who have faces that look totally different and what's called deformed, or their eye sits lower, or they don't have whatever. They've had burns on their face. You know, maybe they got caught in a fire and they have burns on their face, and it makes, when you have burns, it makes your skin look a little different, a lot crinkly and real kind of smooth and just different. But different, like I said, is good. Different is good. And different doesn't have to be scary. Sometimes we let it be scary. And yeah, some people look different and we want to look and we want to stare and we kind of back away and we're scared. But the more you realize that Heavenly Father loves everyone, even those who have been burned, even those who don't walk normally, or look normally, or their legs don't work, their eyes don't work, their ears don't work, whatever. He loves everyone, which means we should love everyone. He expects us to be kind to everyone and to love each other. And we not only others, we've talked about this before, not only loving others, but loving ourselves and being kind to ourselves and being okay. Because maybe we're a little different than other people, and we would hope that everybody would treat us, kindly. So, we're all different. Oh my goodness, I found out something I did not know on our trip when I took Phoenix, which is just different. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just different. And different is good. Remember, different is good. When we went on our trip to Washington, I found out that Phoenix likes to eat slow. I eat fast. Oh, I do everything fast. I eat fast, but he likes to eat slow, and he takes his time, and that's okay. Grandpa likes to drink soda. I like to drink water. Forrest and Oslo like to fly in an airplane. I don't like to fly in an airplane. We all do things differently, and it's okay. It's okay to be different. Because it's not right or wrong, it's not good or bad, it's just different. And different is good. Now, I need to go to the piano because I want to sing you a song for the last part of this. So let's head in here. I want all of you, especially you kids, to know that Grandma and Grandpa will always love you. And we will love you for who you are. We've talked about this too. I'll close this door. Okay. We love you Just the Way You Are. And this is one of my new favorite songs. I love this one. And it's one that I actually remember when the kids were little. And but I want you all to listen to it because this is how we feel about you, Grandma and Grandpa. All right. You ready? All right. Here we go. It's you I like. It's not the things you wear. It's not the way you do your hair. But it's you I like. The way you are right now. The way down deep inside you. Not the things that hide you. It's not your toys. They're just beside you. But it's you I like. Every part of you. Your skin, your eyes, your feelings. Whether old or new. I hope that you'll remember, even when you're feeling blue, that it's you I like, it's you yourself, it's you, it's you I like. Okay, let's head back to the back. I have sung that song to some of you already. I sing it to Nora when I'm trying to put her down for a nap. So she'll know that song quite a bit because they live really close to us, and I sing it to her quite a bit. I think I've sung it to some of you other kids too. Maybe some of you have never heard that song. That song is one that was written by Mr. Rogers. And there is a new movie coming out from Mr. Rogers, or about Mr. Rogers. And if you don't know anything about Mr. Rogers, you can watch that movie when it comes out. I don't think it comes out till Thanksgiving time. But anyway, you'll be able to learn about him. He was a great man who loved everybody himself. Okay, guys, that's it. Not very long. But definitely one that we needed to do, and it's been a long time since I've done one. So remember, we want to love everybody no matter what they look like, okay? Just like Heavenly Father loves everybody. And I want you to know that Grandpa and I love you just the way you are. Even though we may do different things than than some of the other grandkids, some of you may do different things than others. That's okay. That's all right. We love different, and different is good. And we love you just the way you are. See ya.